Hey guys, what's up? Welcome. So Krys, if you could be so kind as to, there we go. Krys is joining us right now. Krys Benyamein. He's going to join us. So we are on YouTube and Instagram today, guys, just like last week, but the difference is the sound will be a little bit better this week because we're going to actually have Krys on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. So pretty excited here. And my eyes are going to be bouncing. Hey, buddy, what's up, man?
What's up, Mark? Mark, good
Yeah,
to see
you too, man. You too. So kind of getting used to this setup here. I guess there's no way to do this. And hey, if anybody knows how to do it, I think Allie figured it out great. But if there is a way that you can do this on the same screen, great. But otherwise, I'm going to bounce my eyes like I'm looking at the camera here and I'm looking at the camera up here. So if you're on Instagram, welcome. If you're on YouTube, welcome. Krys is on here. Krys Benyamein, he has been a friend of mine for about 3 years now. It's funny. I was just doing a quick, tiny bit of research right before we came on and looking at when we met, and I guess it's been it's been a little over 3 years now.
It's crazy how time flies. I was just at a Tom Ferry seminar thinking to myself, this is where it started.
Yeah.
I think August.
Friend of mine for about 3 years now. It's funny. I was just doing a quick, tiny bit of research. Okay, we're good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It just on YouTube it takes a little bit longer to go through, so I had to turn the volume down. So anyway, so 3 years ago we meet at Tom Ferry, and so I was just telling Allie the story. So Tom Ferry has, if anybody doesn't know who Tom Ferry is, he's like the #1 real estate coach out there. Sorry, Ricky. I think you're the #1 real estate coach out there, Ricky Caruth. But anyway, you know, I love you, Ricky. But anyway, so I'm at this Tom Ferry event 3 years ago, and what I wanted to do was talk to real estate agents about why they don't invest. That was the core reason I went there. That, and I'm a real estate agent. I was interested in seeing what was going on. And so this, I'm not going to say crazy lady gets up on stage, but this woman gets on stage and she has this, she's vivacious, energetic, beautiful, just, she's got everything going for, every box was crossed off, and just genuine. I could tell. I mean, she was all excited and everything. She wasn't faking it. And Tom starts talking about how good her videos are, and he's always harping about getting on, like we're doing right here. Like, guys, seriously, 3 years ago when I got on here, in fact, the first video I did was when I was on my way to Tom Ferry. But the first time I did a video, I'm not well spoken now. I stutter like a maniac. But the first time I got on, I was so scared and nervous and everything. But just doing this has made it so much easier to talk to people. But anyway, I'm digressing. So this crazy, energetic woman gets asked on stage and shows this video, and she's like the award winner for having the best video. And I'm walking out to go to lunch, and who do I see going into the parking structure but this fine gentleman here and his mother. And we got to talking, and I don't know why we clicked, but we did. And so we've kept in touch over the years. And anyway, Krys, thank you so much for coming on today. And that video you dropped today was phenomenal. If you guys have not seen it yet, go on to my IG, and it's posted there. I think you have to go to my stories to do it, but I think Allie also posted it somewhere. I'm not sure how she does it. And then, Krys, what is your Instagram, real quick?
Yeah, so that everyone can find me at just Krys Benyamein. Just Krys Benyamein will be on the wall, and I'll make sure to send a copy to Allie if you guys want to share it as well.
Oh, she'll put it. Well, I'll put it in the show notes at the end, but.
For what it's worth, Mark, it's been pretty fascinating because it seems that we've both grown and changed and developed so much in just a very quick 3 years. And I've been watching everything you do, obviously following everything you do, and it's just crazy how you leaned into it, how we leaned into it, and how much can happen so quickly. So
yes.
I'm really I don't mean this in a cheesy way, but really impressed and really proud of you because
Thank
he
you.
told us to do something, and you really, really effing did it, and like that is a big win.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But just so everybody knows, and let's. I've got a couple of things that we're going to talk about. I want to go deep on. We'll take some questions, as usual. I always say we're going to go a half hour with interviewing, and then another half hour questions, and we will try to get to the questions quicker today. But real quick, one of the reasons that both of us are on here. There's a couple of reasons, and Krys, I want you to chime in on this too, is because we wanted to increase our business, and we wanted to spread education. We wanted to spread the word about investing, about selling your home, about, Krys talks about how to sell your house and all the steps that are involved. I talk about how to invest in real estate and all the steps that are involved. And obviously, it's not completely altruistic. We actually are doing this so that we can bring business in too. So we're not only educating, but you guys are bringing me deals. There's all kinds of good things going on. Some of you are lending, and we're working on projects together, which is super exciting. And Krys, what is it exactly that made you start doing this, and how has it changed what you do?
Yeah, I think you are 100% right. We started this, and it really started at Tom Ferry. So very briefly, I was switching careers. I'm an attorney by trade.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Lake Tahoe, and Tom Ferry, that seminar was really my first big thing once I changed directions, joining mom in the family business.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this event. I really wasn't bringing in business at this point, and I'm thinking, what can I do to contribute to what we're trying to accomplish, right? And Tom is out there saying, make these videos. So at first it was with the intention of what would I say? Carrying my part. What can I do for the team? I can make these videos. I like to get on camera. I like to speak. So fuck it.
That's obvious.
Thanks, I'm trying.
Yeah.
But then I quickly realized it was like starting a lot more conversations than anything else.
Yes.
And I think there's this misconception that, we post these videos and it's like, call me, I'm selling, call me, I'm buying, this and that. But it's really not like that. It's so much more building trust, giving value, and connecting with people. I make this cheesy video the other day about calling somebody on their birthday, and it's just like this funny sales video.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it's wonderful to put out this kind of thing and to start a conversation with somebody. So it's been dope because it's been awesome to help buyers. It's been awesome to help sellers. I had no idea the real estate community sort of responding. Not to mention all of these internet friends that I have now. I see you in person, but I communicate with you a lot more online. So I think if there's anything people take away from making these videos is you are so much closer to the people than you think you are. You can literally make a video and get to them.
For sure.
There is so much value in these human relationships. There's so much value in these connections.
Totally. And the funny thing is I know that for people that are out there right now, it's like, well, I'm not doing anything yet, or especially investors, I'm not doing anything yet. Why is it exactly that people would want to see me? Guys, I swear, if you get online and start telling your story, I know people right now out there, the FI couple, just to name one. Well, that's actually two. It's a couple. So, yeah. Anyway, not a math class. They have such an outreach, guys. They've got such a huge audience, and why is that? They own a couple of properties. Okay, but it's not that. It's their journey that people are watching. They are watching the story unfold of this couple investing in real estate, and go follow them, by the way. Investing in real estate and living their lives and paying off debt and doing all the things that you do when you're young, right? So If you don't think you have anything to offer online, you are seriously effing wrong. You do. People want to hear your story, and you think they don't because you're boring. Well, you know what? Maybe to some people you are, but maybe to some people you're an inspiration and you're going to change their life, and you don't know it yet. Maybe you've got an audience of 5 people. Frickin' talk to 5 people then, guys. I guarantee you, when I got on here, I had nobody. I had nobody. What did Allie, what did you call me earlier, Allie? What did you call me earlier?
A dinosaur?
What did you call me earlier? Boomer. She called me a boomer. Born in 63. I'm officially a boomer. Okay? So if I can do it, you can do it. And okay, enough of the soapbox. I go up and down. I get a little excited. But that's the thing that's what I learned from you guys. Seriously, is that get out there and just freaking hang it out and do it.
Right. I wish I came up with the phrase. I coined it. But
Yeah.
I wish I could go to Big Maru. He said, "Your vibe attracts your tribe," and I think, your vibe attracts your tribe.
No, I agree.
We're finding this. But I am really enjoying this part. When I meet people, they know who I am and they know what I'm about if they're following me online. And I don't know who out there wouldn't want to work with people that like them as people. You know what I'm saying? And I think the videos is absolutely like that. We walked into a listing the other day, and I feel like the guy was talking about my wedding and my climbing and this and that, and I'm just like, is this a fucking listing appointment? Like,
he knows me. He knows you. He knows you. There's a connection there, right?
And he's the kind of guy that I want to do business with. So I think that's exactly right. Like, a house might be a house, but the person that's getting you there, an investment might be an investment, but like, who are you getting there with? And I think that's why you have such an audience, is because you're authentic, you actually know your shit, and well, it's just, you're easy to connect with, and you're putting yourself out there.
Well, the other thing too is it's putting yourself out there, but just being available, and that's. You know, it's not me, it's not you, it's just the fact that so many people out there that are successful right now online are just out there. They're putting in the time, they're putting in the effort, and it does work after a while. At first, it's like, oh my God, I got 200 followers. And I don't want to make this all about that, because there's a couple of things I really want to get to, and we're going to jump into that. But I want everyone out there, whether you're investing or whether you're a real estate agent, start getting online. I guarantee you, your options will open up in front of you. Your opportunities will open up in front of you, and you'll make great friends and relationships. I mean, how many people out there watching right now? I don't know. There's a few people out there right now, but how many people did we start? You know, we just started a conversation online, and now, you know, we talk to each other all the time. So just get out there and do it. And now let's dive into my one question. Okay. Why is it? We had 2 things we wanted to cover today. What were one of them was, why is it that real estate agents do not invest in real estate? What was the other one?
Maybe where real estate agents can get started and how they can look for opportunities in the day-to-day.
Yeah, that'll work. No. So the funny thing is when like I said, when I first went to that Tom Ferry event, it was because real estate agents don't invest for the most part. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that do, and kudos to you. That's hats off. But I want to know why, and I want to try to understand why that is, and I also want to understand why people that are out there on the fence about investing haven't started yet. Do you think that there's going to be a better time? I mean, the market goes up, the market goes down, but if you get a deal and it cash flows, it's going to be a deal, no matter what. Your thoughts?
I think, it's a good question. I think for a few reasons.
Okay.
Agents are human, and I think, like a lot of humans, it's really hard to juggle multiple balls and to be focused on multiple things. So I think really, at least for new agents, even seasoned agents, I don't want to say it's this hustle game, but you're so focused you can get so caught up in the next transaction, in the next escrow, in the next prospect, in the next whatever, that you really lose sight of the forest within the trees. And really, it wasn't until probably in the last like 12 months that, and it's as a result of watching this stuff, that I'm driving around to show a listing, and I'm like, oh, look at that shitty house. Let's mark that one down.
Yeah.
Or, hey, like, maybe I want to buy this duplex because I don't want to sell houses forever. So I really think it's just human nature to not be able to keep all these balls juggling in the air. And it's just like an identity thing. I think that's the second part that I was going to say is I don't think agents are looking at themselves as investors. Just the same way like lay people are not always looking at themselves as investors. And that's like an obstacle that we create in our heads.
Now let me interrupt for a second. Now, do you think it's? I'm sorry, I'm going back and waving to people. Do you think that's because? So, like for me, I have a real disconnect between being an agent and keep in mind, I pretty much just list my own houses, but still, I'm an agent. My wife actually represents people, and as investors, we don't really want to talk a lot about the fact that we're real estate agents too, that we do real estate deals, and it's almost like, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, it's almost like we're embarrassed that we're agents. And I think it's almost like maybe agents are embarrassed to say they're investors, which seems ridiculous, but I don't know why that is. But you're right. I think it's not only just a disconnect, but I think we don't want other people to think that we're scattered or that we have too many balls in the air, right? And I think that has a lot to do with it too. And it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you'll find, I think that's why people like my mom are so successful, is that you really got to take your ego out of whatever you're doing and understand that you're just trying to give this service, you're just trying to give this value. And you got to understand, like, I had a big fucking ego. I came from being a lawyer to people calling me a salesman, and it struck a chord. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever it's worth, there's a connotation that goes along with being someone.
By the way, Chris, I'm sorry, but on YouTube we can't use those words.
Sorry, that will be the last one I drop.
No. That's usually on Instagram. It's fine because I do the same thing, but I just realized that.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That will. But I think like what I love about this game, and then it ties back to the social media stuff. It really is all of it. Is you got to get yourself out of the way.
Yes.
You really got to get yourself out of the way. Yeah. And agents are number one at getting in the way of themselves.
Yes.
So it's like
I agree, and I think a lot of agents. Okay, I'm an agent, so I can say this because I was a full-time agent at one time. A lot of agents are really full of themselves. They start believing that I don't know. It's a weird thing. You get a few deals, and all of a sudden you start thinking you're an expert on a lot of things, and you can be. You can. It's hard for me to say this because I don't want to offend anybody, but. I don't know if do you follow what I'm trying to say here, kind of?
I follow exactly what you're trying to say. You know, the thing about agents is similar to other people in like high functioning individuals. Like people are in this for a handful of reasons, and I think part of it is the money. Part of it is like the notoriety, the success. I think there's so many reasons, but you'll find agents with certain personalities, and it's a shame. It's a shame because it ruins the reputation of the industry. I think it cheapens and it dampens the community as a whole. Because at the end of the day, especially now, 2021, the consumer and the public are more aware, more informed, smarter, and
good
savvy.
Lord, yes. They know what they want before they call you.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Agents are not hiding the listings anymore.
No.
Agents don't have something that the public doesn't have.
Yeah.
So really, when I look at what we offer, is we are in the service industry. So what do I have to give you if I don't have houses? I have my knowledge, I have my expertise, I have my experience, I have me, myself, And that's what separates me from Joe Schmo or whoever else is another agent down the street. Because in this day and age, like, Zillow's got the listings.
Yeah. And not only that, but Zillow's buying the listings. So, yeah.
Right.
So, and in a minute, I want to talk. So, to those of you out there that are just investors only, we're going to talk about how you need to talk to real estate agents in order for them to work with you. So that is coming up, and we are going to go in depth on that because, as you guys all know, we get the majority of our deals from the MLS right now. Cold outreach is still working for us, but MLS is by far the best source of deals that we've got right now. So you need to learn how to talk to real estate agents. You need to tell them what they want to hear. So we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. So stay tuned for that. Do not leave if you're not a real estate agent, because this is for both parties here. So as an agent, you just started investing 12 months ago. I know your parents have been investing for a long time, but you just started investing about 12 months ago. And you just told me why you think it is that agents don't invest, which is they're just too busy. But good God, they're the first ones to get deals. They're the first ones to find deals. So, and I think you and I talked on the that video that you dropped today. You one of my things on there made it on there that I really wanted it to make on there, and there's nothing sadder than an 85 or a 75-year-old agent. And this is not including the ones that want to be agents. This is just the ones where they really don't want to be agents anymore, but they have to be because they didn't do well saving money or investing earlier in their career. Now, we're talking about people that can make a lot of money. And we're talking about people that, I'm sorry, but here in our area, Newport Beach, I can't tell you how often I go to a nice restaurant and I see someone pull up in a new BMW that I recognize. And it's like, I know she can't afford that. And I know she can't afford to eat here. She must have closed the deal. And I know it's cliche, but I see it all the time, especially in this town. I wish people would stop doing that. Gosh, I wish they would. Your thoughts?
You know, it's sad. It's sad, but I think it's like the same in most jobs. Like there's a reason why people are not investors. There's a reason why people don't plan for retirement. It's not sexy, and the satisfaction is really delayed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's there's nothing more delayed than the return on holding a property for 30 years. You know, so I think there's this level of it's just not.
Oh, by the way, Chris, I just cashed out. I just cashed out a 16 unit, made $400,000 in 2.5 years. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. There's opportunities to do shorter term stuff, but I think overall, it's not. It's like training for a marathon or training for a body. Like the group of people that are willing to put the time and effort in are limited.
Yes.
And I think with agents, they are on the spotlight in the sense that they have so much money available to them. It's like, how did you squander that? So you almost don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt because they should have known better. But agents are the same as anybody else, and they're
such a good point. I never even thought of it from that perspective. I didn't. So.
But because you expect them to know better, and that is the challenge with like the industry as the culture is like they're not informed financially.
Yes.
They're not informed. You know, I put a poll the other day about, and I'm not going to name names, but I put a poll the other day as far as, do you have an estate plan? And it was a little yes or no thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of responses no. And what surprised me about many of the no's is that many of them were like professionals.
Yeah.
Ones that are around, you know, what agent hasn't had to deal with a probate?
Yeah.
You know it's a headache.
Yeah.
How do you not have an estate plan?
Yeah. And it's only fair to your family to do that. Of course, once you're gone, but you know, you leave your family in turmoil when that happens. So let's switch gears a little bit and come back to that. You bought your first property 12 months ago. Walk me through, or go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I think what I meant was I only started to really explore more opportunities. I
Okay.
bought my first property, very fortunately, very grateful. Right out of law school, I started at the public defender's office in Reno, Nevada,
Okay.
and I loved the mountains. I loved rock climbing specifically, so I bought a little house in Incline Village,
Yeah,
Nevada,
nice. Very
Lake
nice.
Tahoe, Nevada,
Yeah.
in 2016. And I would make my commute to work every single day, 30 miles up and down the mountain. And it was worth it to me because I loved the mountains. But even back then, while I was still practicing, I was hustling real estate. I would stay, I don't know if this is too tangential, but on a big weekend that I knew everybody wanted to be in Tahoe, I would just stay at a friend's house in Reno, and I would rent out the house, and I would
Good.
cover my mortgage.
Yeah.
When I didn't want to leave my house, I was single. I didn't mind it. I would rent my rooms on Airbnb downstairs, and I would have people downstairs while I was upstairs, and it was a no-brainer because, I mean, for sure I had some weird ones, don't get me wrong. Nothing bad ever. Maybe people I wouldn't want to hang out with. But I had some wonderful people. And at the end of the day, I was living for free a handful of those months when I was really leaning into the Airbnb model. And that was my first property that
So
I
how did you, okay, so public defender, they're making like 400 grand a year, right?
You know, I think when I got hired as a public defender, I was like 70 grand, maybe 60. It wasn't much. It wasn't a lot.
So how did you save up money doing that? Because so one of the biggest questions I get is how do I get started, obviously, and then where do I get the money? How do I get started? What do I do first? And where does the money come from? And that's a very honest question. I answer that question very often.
Right. I think everybody has some sort of angle that they need to leverage. In my situation specifically, I had saved. It wasn't a significant amount of money, but I had saved. I was privileged to have gotten a scholarship to law school, and my parents, I think, really loved me. They helped me with the down payment enough to where I was able to make the mortgage payment manageable, and the rest was on me. So they helped me with the down, and I'm not embarrassed to say that because I think a lot of people have opportunities to take advantage of like that, that don't.
Yes.
That really don't, for whatever reason. So no, my parents supported me in getting that accomplished. And when I left Lake Tahoe, I refused to sell it.
I'm glad you did.
Oh my gosh, that the Lake Tahoe market specifically has exploded. The mountain communities, at least in Southern California, Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead, more than 50% year over year appreciation.
Yeah.
And in Tahoe, it's been, at least in this community, at least 50%. It's been pretty bonkers.
Yeah, I bet.
And now the tenant that I have in there is, they're kind of like a vacation rental company in the sense that I wanted something secure, and I didn't want mom and dad to bail me out. So when I left Lake Tahoe, I wanted some security, and I wanted somebody to take care of my house. So there are businesses that rent your place. They signed a long-term lease with me, and then they rent it on Airbnb. So when they do really well, I don't get any of the benefit. When they do really bad, I still get my rent check every month.
Right. Yeah, no, it's like arbitrage. Yeah.
Right, and I'm in a very different money position now, so when my lease is up, I don't know if they're watching, but when my lease is up in March, I'm done because I'm ready to assume the responsibility, and I want to get back into the vacation rental market.
So I want you to go follow a young man called The Young Retiree by 33. He is a good friend of mine, and that's pretty much his investment strategy is short-term rentals. So sharp guy. Travis is a sharp guy. I like him a lot. He may be on here right now. I don't know.
My second one, so where I am now, the work is in Southeast LA. Mom and dad are still in Orange County, but my fiance is a resident in San Diego. Okay. So when I moved back, I had no heartburn staying with my parents because it didn't affect my ego. I didn't care. You know what I mean? So I moved back home. Paige was renting a small apartment for $1,700 a month in San Diego, and I was certain I was going to marry the girl. So I just said, no way you're doing this with rent anymore. I don't mind staying at my parents'. I got into real estate. I was very fortunate, worked really hard. I saved for like a year and a half, everything. And we bought a small duplex in downtown San Diego. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on top. That's where I am now. And it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath on bottom. But when we bought it, gosh, God bless Paige. We bought it, and I told her we were going to move upstairs because I thought we were going to. And I said, we're going to remodel the bottom, and we're going to rent it for top dollar. And the remodel, like most remodels, went over budget.
Yeah.
And when it went so over budget, I said, baby, I love you. Can we please live downstairs for the year? And she acquiesced. So it was the ultimate house hack. We lived in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 500 square feet. I rented where I am now for $3,200 a month.
Wow.
My mortgage was $3,600.
Wow. Crazy.
So we live in downtown San Diego for $400. And after the 1 year, I really wanted to save my relationship, and now we're getting married. We moved upstairs, we remodeled the upstairs, and now I rent the downstairs to one of her residents, another doctor. 1-bedroom, San Diego, $2,100.
Guys, listen to this really carefully, because we always talk about house hacking and about how to get started. So there's been a lot of nuggets dropped just now. So now, obviously, a lot of these things aren't going to work for you if you're married and have kids, and some of them will. But for those of you out there, so the majority of the people that follow me are 24 to 34, somewhere around there. That's our demographic. But there's a lot of folks my age. There's a lot of folks younger. Point is Krys did whatever he had to do to get where he's at. Now, you might say, well, his parents loaned him some money to begin with. Yeah, to begin with, maybe a long time ago. But but he saved his own money before that. And he lived lean. All right? He kept the property too. He didn't cash out. He didn't cash out his chips and spend it. And also on top of that, when they bought this duplex, they did it on their own. And because they saved a ton of money, because they lived lean. So you don't have to live lean your entire life. God knows I don't live lean. I mean, I'm careful with my money, but I have a darn good time. You guys see me. I see you traveling everywhere.
I think we're working, like, it's the only way that I've been raised is, like, we work our faces off.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it because I don't know how to do anything without, like, a lot of energy. And you felt that when we were filming, like, even right here sitting in this chair, I'm just, I just don't do anything 50%. And that's how I look at the real estate or the investment thing. If my family can accomplish this stuff, English is a second language. My mom still has an accent, and she is like a beast. What is my excuse? And the thing that I'm telling all my homies, because they don't want to move to the suburbs yet, is like, listen, your time to buy the spot in Santa Monica is coming, but you cannot spend $4,500 in rent right now.
Right.
At some point, I don't know what it is. And the internet has made it worse. It's like people don't want to eat a little bit of dirt to get where they're going.
No.
And that hasn't been a part, maybe that's just the way that I've been raised. It's like, I'll eat a lot of shit to get what I want. Because I have a long way to go. And I'm not in this, like, I do think about this, if I hit the lottery tomorrow, what am I going to do? I'm still going to work. I'm still going to work. Like, it's just, So yeah, I'm proud of it. I want to buy another duplex. I've been sharing properties with you that I've been exploring, and only up until, I think what I was saying, where I was trying to go as far as 12 months is, only recently am I now approaching deals by wanting to give people options. Only now am I removing myself from sort of like the full-time agent hat when I meet with people that have properties and be like, well, listen, one option might be selling the place. And this seems so freaking obvious. I don't know why, like, we don't all do it. But I'm getting these ideas from investors. But it's like, okay, we can do the vanilla, put it on the market. And I think this is what we're going to get. But this is going to be the process. If you want that, let's do it. I'm into it. That's what I do. If you don't want that, I know a lot of people like yourself that will buy this in cash. No headache.
Mm-hmm.
No issues.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can do something more alternative. And I think it's made me a better agent in the sense of being able to offer people, to give people options.
Thank you for saying that. That's one thing. So for everybody out there that's unlicensed, and you're an investor, and you've heard online that if you're an agent, it kind of holds you back a little bit. Okay, there's some disclosure stuff that's in there, but you just have to be careful with that. You just have to be honest. But what Krys is saying right now is that if you give people options, then there's no reason for them to go anywhere else than you. I'm going to, like we get a lot of appointments where we want to make a cash offer on the house, right? It's like, hey, we pay cash for houses. And we go in and it's like, yeah, I want $500,000. And we go, well, that's fine. But that's retail. And if we do that, we're going to have to list it. Do you want to go through all of that? People in your house, we have to clean it, we have to paint it, we have to do this, that, and the other. Do you want to go through all that? And a lot of people go, no, that's the reason I'm calling you. And I said, well, okay, then this is what we can do for you. But either way, we've got your back. Or maybe you want full price, but you don't want to deal with people. There's another option, which is owner carry. Now, the way that works, or terms, we call it terms because it sounds a little less threatening than owner carry. If you go with terms, we'll give you a down payment, and then you can pay us. We can pay you monthly. That way, you're not stuck with all the capital gains at once. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Especially if it is a rental. If they're selling a rental, they're going to be paying capital gains. If it's their primary residence, chances are they aren't. But if it's a rental, then that's a very real option. And you can set up the terms and give them a down payment, and away you go. Now you don't have to do any bank financing. It works. I don't want to go down that road right now because there's a lot to talk about there.
I think the hurdle, and this is, I don't mean this as a generalization, but this is anybody. And maybe like I've been in a privileged spot where I know I am blessed. But when I'll give you an example. I cannot tell you how many people reach out to me to refinance. And I am not a lender. Mm-hmm. We are getting buttloads of people saying, hey, do you know anything about refi?
Yeah.
The lenders that we work with don't even buy us freaking coffee.
Screw that. Screw that.
A ton of refis to this guy.
Yeah.
And the point that I am making is that we need to remove the commission check from it. Because if we give them some other option, even like a wholesaling, like agents just don't see the dollar. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make is it might not be $1 today, and I know we touch on that in the video, but the dollar is coming, and you just need to trust that it's coming. Mm-hmm. And when you give people what they want, I really feel like God, the universe, whatever you believe in, gives you back sevenfold.
I agree, and I don't know where it's coming from personally, but I know doing honest business always returns. It always returns. It always comes back. And it crops up in the strangest ways. I mean, we had an amazing day yesterday. Had an amazing day. We had an amazing day today. And it's not because we just started the business 2 weeks ago. It's because we've been doing this for 12 years. 12 years. And we just keep rolling along every single day, and things just happen. And they build. The relationships build. Hey, can we jump on? I'm going to lower my computer a little bit, guys. Sorry for the shakiness here. So now I can see. And I apologize if you guys have asked questions. I'm going to scroll back a little bit, but go ahead and start asking questions. Krys, do you have any questions?
You know, I guess I do. Like, we talk about it in the video a little bit, and I think my audience is similar to my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older. But yeah, what are you telling, what are we telling agents? What do you want agents to know about the opportunities that are in front of them that they're not paying attention to?
Mostly that you're not taking advantage of them, and you could help more people if you did. Because right now you're out looking for listings, and that's all you're looking for. And we've given you 3 options today where you can help people. Look, there's so many people out there that you will never talk to that are going to sell their house to someone like me. Okay? And I'm not giving away any secrets here, other than maybe you don't know it, but this is no secret. There's people out there that hate real estate agents. They hate everything about us. They hate everything we do. They hate everything, and they're never going to deal with a real estate agent unless they absolutely have to. They want to sell their house, but they don't want to deal with that crap. So why can't you be the real estate agent? Why can't you go on YouTube? Why can't you go on Instagram and be the real estate agent that helps everybody with everything and start talking about, I'm not going to give you a script. You guys got to figure it out on your own. But why can't you go online and start saying, look, I know dealing with real estate agents can be difficult sometimes. I have them call me and I don't like it. But I'll tell you one thing. If I need a real estate agent and they call me on the day that I need them, I'm glad they called. However, I may not want to list my house. I may just want to sell it. So there are options. So if you're out there and you don't want to deal with a real estate agent, or you don't want to deal with open houses, or you're embarrassed because your house maybe isn't in as great a shape as it could be, call me. You have options. Guys, that's a PSA right there. You can get business from doing something like that if you do it often enough. And if you can pinpoint and market in your area. People are looking for options. Why do you think I'm able to buy so many houses? It's because we offer options. All right? And we're dealing with mostly people that don't want to deal with agents. It went on our cold outreach. Now, obviously, a lot of the MLS stuff that we get, obviously, they're wanting the services of real estate agents. But that's 50, 60% of our business. The other 40 or 50% of our business, depending on the month, is cold outreach or warm outreach, people contacting us through advertising. So obviously there's a lot of business out there you're missing out on. Why not take advantage of it and the chance of being able to pick up some properties for yourself? Right there. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. I'm going to drop the mic. No, I'm joking. There's no mic to drop. But doesn't that make perfect sense, though, that you can actually do both? You guys can serve both clients. It doesn't have to just be people that want to list their house. Be all things to all people.
Right. I think there's a misconception with, especially people, like, it's almost like you would want to put a poster on your forehead that you've been in the business so long, because all that people see now of you most days is all the houses that you're flipping, all the followers that you have. They're not aware of everything you've put in the background. And I think there's an audience of investors out there that think investing is easy. Same way that there's an audience of people that want to get into real estate because they think it's easy. And that's the part that I think everyone just needs to acknowledge is none of it is easy if you want to be really good at it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make any money at all, you're going to have to put a lot of effort in.
Right. And I think there's no get rich quick, there's no scheme, there's no illusion to it.
No, I totally agree. 100%. You hit the nail on the head for everything we're talking about right now. And I don't know. I think that's one of the things that's important to get across too is that investing and real estate, being a real estate agent, is not easy. It's very lucrative if you work hard, but it's not easy.
And that could be anything.
Yes,
really is anything.
Agreed.
But whatever it is, you got to just work your face off at it. And I don't think, I don't know. It's really tough. Like the delayed satisfaction is tough.
Yeah.
I had a client the other day, really sweet buyer, first time buyer, and I'm helping her with all these things. She calls me out of the blue. She says, "Krys, what is this going to cost me?" And I was like, "Well, it's going to cost 3.5% down plus about 2% for closing costs. So, if we're looking at a $450,000 house, it's going to be right under $30,000. She's like, "No. Like, what do you cost me?" And I was like, "No, you don't pay me. I get paid when we find you the house from the seller, explaining to her how the commission works." And she was like, "But you don't get paid unless I get a house?" And I'm thinking to myself, damn, imagine how much better the world would be if you didn't get paid until you did a good job of it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rip on anybody that's working at like the Target, but when I show up to Best Buy and the guy doesn't even know where the ring light that I need to buy is, and then he's telling me that it's my fault, I'm just like, what? How you didn't earn the salary?
Wait a second. Yeah.
You know, and I just so yeah, like the satisfaction is delayed, but you got to work hard to get there.
Look, I know agents, and I know investors, and I may or may not be one of them because I don't disclose exactly how much money I make. But I know people out there that are making easy $100,000 a month. It's not easy for them to make the $100,000 a month, but they're hustlers and they're making $100,000. That's $1.2 million a year. And I know people making a lot more than that. But guys, the possibilities are absolutely endless. If you just focus on the 3 pillars of investing, listings will come. You're gonna go out there. Go ahead.
Well, so I was just gonna ask, what if you have an investor? Let's say they quit their full-time job.
Yes.
And they have 24 hours in the day. What are you telling? How are you telling people to spend their time?
You've got to talk to people. You've got to talk to people. So if you're getting into this business, number one, don't quit your day job until you've established yourself in the business, because it takes an average of 4 months to get your first deal in real estate investing. Just bar none, you're gonna spend 4 months grinding for nothing. So how do you do that? You have to split it up. You have to actually start working expecting nothing and keep your job. So when Yuko and I started, I was working for the banks doing repos. I was doing handyman work during the day, and then we would grind all night long. And I don't say that to brag. I just say that so people know that you're going to be grinding for a while. All right? That's the long and short of it. And after a year or two, things start happening. But don't expect it to happen right away. But if you stick with it, it's amazing what happens. The relationships. I mean, let's just talk about relationships for a second. If you've got 24 hours in a day, you know, you're going to get up in the morning, you're going to go to your job. All right. At lunch, you're going to hit the MLS and you're going to look for deals as a real estate investor. After work, you're going to write offers. You're going to call agents and ask them, can you write this offer for me? Or do I need to write the offer myself? And 9 times out of 10, I'd say 7 times out of 10, the agent will want to write it for you if you ask them that question. There's some agents that won't do it. And then you get them to write the offer, and then you work with them. I've got a whole spiel on that. We don't want to go too far down that road. But you're going to spend your time making offers on houses. You're going to spend your time on Saturdays and Sundays and evenings going out and looking at said houses, because most agents will not accept your offer until you look at it. Krys, if someone made you an offer, a blind offer, would you take that seriously if they haven't seen the house? No, of course not. They're just making blind offers.
And not even when it is cooler than this market.
Yeah, exactly. So most agents are not going to give you the time of day if you haven't gone out to the property. My suggestion, I'll give you a couple of tips. My suggestion is meet the agent out there. A lot of times they're going to want to send you out, knock on the door. Yeah, the owner will show you around because they don't want to do it. They're busy or they know this market's hot. They don't want to put time into it. Make them come out. If you can make that agent like you, and you can get to the point where you like the agent, well, you're like, let's just say the ladder has 10 rungs. You're already on rung 5. Please
100%.
add.
Especially, well, it's all about the relationship, because the truth is, like, I think of our circumstance, there's a handful of investors that we've worked with in the past that pretty much any time deals come across the table, they're the first ones that come to mind, because we know how they operate, and we know what they're about, and we know how the escrow will be, and we know they can perform. So I think it's 100% about the relationship, because the last thing you need, especially as a listing agent, is to like bring some investor to your seller to make a mess.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Especially if you're trying to represent both sides. So I would say from the real estate expensive perspective, if you're like an investor reaching out, is be candid, like be direct about what it is. A pet peeve I have is when an investor reaches out to me and tries to like lie in wait, kind of be in the dark and be like, well, I'm buying it to like for my. They're just not very forthright about what they're doing, you know? Like, oh, this and you know,
Guilty. Like, yeah, I know. Yeah, well, there's reasons for that sometimes, but my advice is have an answer ready. Practice your answers. Do you practice scripts?
Be prepared.
Yes.
I do practice scripts, but I would just say be prepared, because if you find somebody's number in the MLS, and it's only in the MLS, where do I think you got the number from unless you have access to the MLS?
Yeah.
So just be prepared for what you're going to say, I guess.
Yeah, have ready answers. I mean, we cover a lot of this in a lot of our material, because there are things that people ask you that pop up. I mean, even every once in a while, I get like, you know.
And it's
like,
normal.
Yeah.
And it's normal. But you definitely get your reps in. Like, as far as, like, prospecting and making calls,
yeah.
I mean, you know, people, this is the reality. People are watching the Instagram Live or watching you post things, and they think this is the way that you get all your business.
Oh.
They think this is what you do all day. And they're so grossly mistaken. And I think this is the sexier part of the business, because when I tell everybody, all 23 people on the Zoom, that we prospect every morning from 9:30 to 10:30, and then once again from 1 to 2. Ain't nobody want to show up to that Zoom session. Nobody wants to join. Nobody wants to join us to make calls.
Nope.
But they think that, you know, we're killing it because we're posting videos.
Yeah.
And I just it's that blend that is what makes people successful. And for whatever new agents are out there, and that's sort of what I've been soliciting to people, is if you have all the time, if you have 24 hours in a day and you have no clients, no escrows, no nothing, you better be spending 35 to 40% of that day prospecting. You better spend 30 to 45, the other 30 to 45% marketing, and 20% learning, reading, educating yourself.
Yeah, totally.
You can do 30, 40, but you need to divide it into those 3 buckets. And if you don't, you're just like, what are you doing? I really do wonder, what are you doing?
Oh, no, I know, because I did it when I first became an agent. I'd drive around, I'd look at houses, I'd go to open houses, broker preview, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, I was like, wow, I was so busy today. So busy.
Not productive.
No, not even.
But not productive.
Close.
And I think that is like the distinction. For me personally, and this is just like my life hacks, my heaviest lifting is done in the morning.
Yes.
It's generally why I work out in the morning.
Yeah.
It's generally why I post content in the morning, and it's why I prospect in the morning. Because it's the 3 things in my day that are like taking a lot of mental capacity that I need to get done with.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, when we're doing videos, Allie will tell you I'm much better in the morning than the afternoon. In the afternoon, I get scattered. So
right, and I mean, this is I'm just guessing this. I don't know, but there's a level of you wearing a white shirt every day that makes life easier on you, because you don't have to make that decision.
Nope.
And that's why, like, I don't know if people even recognize about you, but that's like the Mark Zuckerberg base. Like, there's a reason why you don't pick a different shirt, and it's because that one decision you're making is one less decision that you're going to get to make about something in the business or something else.
True. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Easy to shop, too.
Yeah.
We go out, Yuko and I go out, I actually wear different clothes. You might not recognize me, but no, that's a good point. Can we go ahead real quick? I want to get to a couple of questions here,
Go
too.
ahead, let's do it.
All right, so K16, and guys, if I missed any, I'm sorry. Just put it back in. How do you go about getting a license, and are there free resources to study? I'm going to give you that. I am an agent, but I am not a agent that's out looking for business as an agent. So, Krys, what is that?
Absolutely. So, Calibri Real Estate is a large umbrella of real estate schools. Myself took one called the Rockwell Institute. It's not too complicated. You do it online. You take a handful of small quizzes until you finish the course. I don't remember how many hours it was.
Yeah.
And then you sit for the exam. It's really not that difficult, but just know you don't get anything out of it other than the license.
Yeah, you're not going to learn how to be a real estate agent.
You're not going to learn how to do anything. So whoever, if you want, please send me a DM. I will send you a link to the real estate school that I took. It was the one that I tell everyone to take because I enjoyed it. So please, whoever comment that was, send me a DM. I will send you the link.
Excellent. Anybody else?
I saw.
Hey, Vinny, what's up, bud?
So I don't know if anybody. I saw. It's funny to see all these people out here like supporting everything we do.
Oh, there's so many of your folks here. This is awesome. So.
Do you know who the broke agent is?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
I met him. I had the privilege of meeting him at the last Tom Ferry conference.
Oh, cool.
Eric, if you're still on this, I really appreciate you. And without getting tangential, we're so much closer to what we want than we think. And if you don't show up every day, you really are missing these opportunities. And that means prospecting, and that means these videos. I really mean that. Like, I get an FU a lot, but with every FU, I get somebody that's like, yo, I'm so glad to connect with you. And
so
no
true.
joke, the video that like I posted that I thought was dog poop.
Yeah. Wow, good choice of words.
That gets reshared by Eric. Like, shed light on what I was doing like never before. And if I wouldn't have posted that, if I would have gotten in my head, it wouldn't have happened. And same thing with you. Like, I just shoot my shot. Nobody, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. You continue to shoot your shot, and whatever if people reject us. I reached out to a guy today. I wanted to make a video with him. He's a foodie. And I just said, hey, I want to make a video with you. What do you think about this? And he was like, he said all these things and avoided my question. But the point is, you just got to keep going for it.
You know what? When I first started, I wanted to get on people's broadcasts of any kind. And you just have to reach out. I mean, I had 200 followers, but I had a lot to say. I was an experienced investor. I knew what the hell I was talking about. And I had a lot of good stories, a lot of failures. I mean, if you want to learn about failing in real estate investing, I'm your man. I am your man. And you should look at people that have done stupid things and made mistakes, because those people know how to avoid them the second time. Generally, if they're still investing, they should know how. And there was none of this stuff around when I started. None of it. There was meetings. That was it. So take advantage of it. Absolutely take advantage of it. Any thoughts on private lender loan for a first-time investing home? Beth, that's a good question. So I have so many videos on YouTube and so many videos on my Instagram. Unfortunately, Instagram is not searchable, so it's much easier to find it on my YouTube on private lending. And I absolutely... Okay, let me tell you one thing. And Krys, I don't know if you know this about me. I have never spent a penny of my own money buying property.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. Okay. So now we know. Shh, don't tell anybody. But Yuko and I were lucky enough to figure out what private lending was right at the beginning, and she is smart enough to put it together. And we've worked on it together over the years, obviously, but that's always been her side of the business. Running the money, running the back office, and escrows and things like that. And mine's always been the construction, the finding of the houses, design, and things like that. And she was really good at it. She had a gift for it. And that is the way we built our business. So you absolutely can build your business on private money. And again, go look at my videos, and that's more than we can get into right now. Can you go another 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, my
Okay.
advice is whatever kind of lending, wherever you get the money, just buy this
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Buy it, and if you can, if it doesn't cash flow, but it can cover the rent, and you're in it for appreciation, and you can hold on to it, do it. Because especially like if you're keeping the pulse on SB9 and SB10, like how is this going to come in? Like I don't know what the practical effect of a lot of this legislation change is, but I certainly know that there are a lot of opportunities out there.
Mm-hmm.
And for every house that I sold in the last like 18 months, I kind of wish I would have bought myself.
I agree, but at the same time, I try really, really hard not to look backwards because it's a difficult, slippery slope. Because there's so many deals I flipped. There's so many deals I passed on. 8-unit apartment complexes in downtown LA for $600,000. And, I mean, I've been doing this for a while. And, all you can do is move forward. So can I just say one thing? Guys, if you haven't got in the game yet, don't beat yourself up. Don't waste your damn time with that. That's just doesn't get you anywhere other than further down. If you want to go up, today's the day. Today's your new day. Forget about all the crap in the back. Forget about disappointing your husband. Forget about disappointing your wife. Forget about losing money on a stupid investment. Forget. But don't forget. Don't forget your mistakes. Don't relive them. But get started. Get started. Today's a new day. I've lost money before. I'm not embarrassed to say it because it happened, but in 2009 I had to file for bankruptcy. Late 2008, because my construction company went belly up. Had no business. And I'm not proud of that, obviously, and I'm not like excited to share it, but I just want you to know that going from there to where I'm at today, it can happen, guys. I don't care what situation you're in. Single mom, single dad, no money, crashed your car, living on the streets. I mean, there's so many different ways that people can make excuses for not doing something. But you can't fool me, because if you want it bad enough, you can do it. Right? So, and that's become an agent. That's become an investor. That's become an agent investor. Whatever you want to do. You want to be a flipper? Great. You want to be a wholesaler? Great. You want to be a real estate agent? Great. You want to be a buy and hold person? Great. You want to do all four, which is what I do? Great. Absolutely fantastic. But I do call it the three pillars for a reason, because not everybody has their license. It's wholesaling, flipping, and buy and hold. And guys, if you can master those three skills, you can make millions and millions of dollars. But you have to master all three, because they all work together. And wholesaling doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be wholesaling. Wholesaling is just simply the act of getting a house under contract. Then you decide what you're going to do. So, woo! There we go.
Like the millions are great, but all the service that you provide doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the service that you provide doing that. And I think that's the part that like we can't lose sight of, is that you are really making somebody's day when you step in and help them however they need that help.
Oh, I mean, we got one yesterday, and it's a hoarding situation, big time. And we're going to go in, and we're going to send movers in, and they're going to pack everything up that they want to take, and then we're going to clean the house out. And we've done this numerous times where we've moved people across the country to Bakersfield, whatever, where that was their stumbling point. The reason that they didn't want to sell is, number one, they didn't want to deal with it because it was just so bad and so out of hand. And number two, they weren't ready to give it up yet. Okay? And after talking to them, it's like, guys, we have options here. We can clean it up and we can put it on the market. Nope, don't want to do that. I've made the decision now. I want to move forward. Okay, then what we can do is we can bring movers in. They can pack what you want. You can spend one day with them, and that's it. Because otherwise, you'll start bringing everything with you. So you have one day, and I want you to bring some trusted family members in to help you. And and we call the trusted family members. We make sure everybody shows up on the day. And yes, we're making money, but we're also changing a life. And we don't know why these people are the way they are. It could have been the husband died, the kids died, their dog died, they lost their job, something traumatic happened, or they're just like that, and they want to be better. So there's so many things as an agent, this. There's so many ways that you can change lives. I'm so glad you brought that up. Me bringing up money all the time it's just front of mind.
No,
but
I mean, we have to make a living.
Yeah.
And, I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't be in real estate if it wasn't lucrative. There's a way, though, and I think I feel very grateful for my mom and my dad and what they've raised me to do. There's a way to find what you like and be successful at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think you still have so much energy and are so into this, because like you are committed to it. It's not a paycheck for you. You might get a nice paycheck, but I know you really dig what you do. And that's like the intangible. That really is the intangible that you can't fake. And people feel it from you. People really do know it. And I don't think there was much difference between being a lawyer and somebody's real estate agent, because you're just giving them a service. They just need you for a different service.
Yes.
But if you're not there to deliver it, you've missed the mark.
I totally agree. And if you can't enjoy what you do, if you can't provide value, if you can't provide a service, it's not going to be long lasting. If you're seriously just in this for the money, it's not going to last. I know too many guys that are in it just for the money, and they get jaded, and it's like another $100,000 paycheck. And that sounds crazy, but another $100,000 paycheck, another $50,000 paycheck. All they see is the money. Yeah, I agree.
I feel, I don't know if this is like what it should be coined, but I used to kind of say it was like the Robin Williams thing, and I loved Robin Williams.
Me too.
One of the most successful people, right? Mm-hmm. And to think about all his fortune, but everything that he was dealing with, clearly money is not the answer.
No.
Clearly success is not the answer, but you have to be able to make some peace. And to the agents out there, it's funny because, today is October 13th, and between my mom and I, our little team, we're at 100 pending and closed transactions. We're really proud of that, right?
That's crazy. But I think the first time I met you, you had closed 100 for the year. Was that 3 years ago? Is that what you guys did, or was it more than that?
No, 3 years ago, right when I joined that year, I think we did like 80-something.
Okay, that was what she announced. Okay.
Right, it was 80-something, and then last year we closed 91, and this year I think we'll do about 130. That's
Good Lord. Good Lord.
That's the goal. But do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Do you know,
no.
Despite all these deals, the majority, I would say 60%, are not just buyers, but first-time buyers. And do you know why? Because my mom gets so much pleasure out of getting people into their first home, because she really believes it is the American dream. And it's like in her heart. And people used to tell her, you'll never make it as a buyer's agent. You'll never make it as a buyer's agent. You'll never make it as a buyer's agent. But I realized she was going to make it no matter what, because she was really enjoying the process. And 33 years later, we built a business on it, and we're doing a lot more listings. We're doing all these other things. But at the end of the day, $300,000 check or $300,000 house, $3 million house. A house is a house.
Yeah.
If it's getting a family where they want, it just means that much. So it's like, if you like something in the business, lean into it. Lean into it, and you will find a way to make it happen. And, first-time buyers aren't sexy to a lot of agents. But
they require more hand-holding. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, look, I'll be the first to admit, I've said in the past, as an agent, years ago, like, I don't want to deal with first-time home buyers because they're difficult. And how much money did I leave on the table by saying that? Because those first-time home buyers, I've been an agent for, 17, 18 years. Okay, so the average American owns a house for 7 years. So in 21 years, they'll be buying their third house, and they're not going to be using me because I didn't actually help them the first damn time, right? So, yeah, a lot to be said for helping out first-time home buyers, because they're second-time home buyers and third-time home buyers, more often than not.
I know we're like tangential, but really to the agents that are out there, just figure out what you need to do to help people. and just figure out how to be the person that they reach out to when they need something.
Yeah.
And that's the truth, is like somebody asks me for something that has nothing to do with real estate. I'm just looking to connect dots, and I'm flattered that I'm the one that they reach out to connect those dots.
Yeah, me too. I get my fair share of investing questions every day, and I try to answer every single one of them. Actually, we do end up answering every single one of them. Allie and I do. So yeah, and it's my honor to do that, because I put myself out there to do that, just like you do the same thing. If I don't want what's coming, then I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So,
and you're not doing it not to be busy, that's for sure. I do think that when people are like, how do you respond to this, this, and that? And I'm like, well, listen, I'm not doing all this work not to have work to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's grab this question from Tony. What are your thoughts on refis in order to scale up? What's the typical amount of time you wait until you refi a property after you purchase? Any rules to it? Can I grab this one?
Please.
So guys, refi is a two-edged, double-edged, dose-edged sword. And so every time you refi, there's a lot of fees that go into it. And every time you get past 7 or 8 years on a loan, you really start chipping away at the principal. So the first 7 years is going to be the majority, first 10 years almost, is going to be the majority of the payment is going to be going towards interest. And if you don't believe me, just go to any mortgage calculator online and look at an amortization schedule for a 30-year loan, and you'll see it's front-loaded. You'll see if you've got a $1,000 payment, $800 of that's going towards interest the first 7 years, give or take. And then it goes like this, and then it starts going like this, So if you're 10 years into your loan, 15 years into your loan, I strongly suggest you don't refi. People are saying, well, rates have dropped a 0.5 point. You should refi because your payment's going to be cheaper. Yeah, and you just reset your damn loan another 30 years, and you reset all that interest. Because lenders, I'm sorry, but lenders are very excited about refining. They make a lot of money on that. Better yet, in my opinion, if you're going to use the equity in your home to buy real estate, I would definitely use a HELOC, and I've used these vehicles before. It is basically a line of credit on your house. You can buy the property, you can fix it up, you can get it tenanted, and then go to the bank and say, hey, I'd like to get a loan on this house. And generally, as long as your credit's good and the renters are paying on time and you're making enough money, they will finance that. They will refi it for you. And it's not even really a refi because you're using money from a HELOC. So they give you the money for the house, you pay off the HELOC, and boom, you got your second house. Then you can take and do a HELOC on your house again, and do it again and again and again and again and again. And it's tax-free money. Guys, double-edged sword when you refinance your house. Look at it very closely, because there could be $15,000, $20,000 in fees. It's ridiculous sometimes what they charge. Go ahead.
To piggyback on that,
yes.
If people remember when COVID hit, before COVID, you could get a HELOC very easy.
Yeah.
COVID hit, it was damn near impossible to get a HELOC. So one thing that we were telling people is, even if you have no intent to use it, you have no plans with it, it's not always a bad idea just to have the line of credit available to you.
Agreed.
You never know.
Great advice. And yes, I just got 3 of them, and it was about a 3-month process. And it's not because I'm special, because, guys, remember where I was at financially 11 years ago, 12 years ago. And believe me, that still follows me around like a ball and chain. They say, 7 years, 10 years, that stuff goes off your record. It doesn't go off your record. That just might not hold as much weight, but a lot of banks will look at that and they'll go, yeah, you're a little sketchy. I get $1 million in the bank. Nah, you're still sketchy because. So, there's a long look back period. But yes, HELOCs are still available, but they're more difficult. There are some banks that are pulling back on them, but I still find that as the best vehicle versus refi. So, sorry, my long answers are really long.
Well, you got a lot of value to give.
I've got a lot of talking to do. Grab a couple more questions. Sorry, guys. Again, I apologize. I didn't get to the questions up front. As always, I tend not to actually start answering questions after 30 minutes. It just, the conversation flows and I like to go with it. There's a lot of value from Krys today as an agent, guys. If you're agent or you're thinking about getting your license, there are so many ways to make money in real estate and help other people. Look at all the options and find out what's best for you. I find that having everything works well for me. Case in point, I think Yuko and I probably will clear, and this is just listing our own properties, and occasionally Yuko gets a property with one of her old investors or something. We'll probably clear $150,000 this year in commissions, and just because we have a license, for no other reason. It's not like we've gone out and knocked on doors and said, yeah, granted, we're doing that to buy houses, but we're not doing that to get listings. We list our own properties. People want us to list properties for them, the whole 9 yards. Or we represent ourselves when we buy a property. You know, we've gotten a lot of commissions this year from that because a lot of people don't want to double in things. Okay, waving. Let's go 5 more minutes, okay? Then I got to go home and have dinner.
That's fair. While you're looking for a question, you want to know something, Mark, that
Yes.
I think is like big for. I think it's definitely the older we get, and I'm seeing it because I'm 31. I'm definitely maturing into who I'm going to become. But I think something I really admire about you and other like just bigwigs in the game is you're still so coachable.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you around Allie. I see you around Francis, and I see you just like. You don't let your ego get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And you are just, the video thing is a great example, you know, because I think a lot of people are using their age as a scapegoat. Like, I can't figure this out. I can't do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just not for me.
Oh, yeah.
And you just come from this coachable mentality that I think I look at you as a mentor, as a role model, but I really do admire you in that sense. It's like, I want to continue to be this moldable. And you're really like, yeah.
I love learning, and Allie's probably laughing on the other side of the office door right now. But I do love to learn, but there are certain things at my age, it's not that I can't learn them, I don't want to take the time to learn them. I don't want to give up the capacity for something else. And so I've got these guys and gals around here that are invaluable. Sauce and Max and Allie and Francis and Jeremy and well, everybody else. I don't know. Now I'm going crazy. But yeah, and they're all much younger than me. Much younger. And then we have Yuko Yu, which is my wife's assistant, 2 Yukos. And it's just cohesive. It works so well. Everybody works so well together. And yes, I am glad to learn what I can learn, but I'm also very happy to let them do things that I don't want to deal with. And that I don't know if it's ego. I appreciate the compliment. I don't know if that's a lack of ego or if it's just I've learned over the years that it's much smarter to realize that there are some people that are better off doing things that I don't want to do or I don't feel like I want to learn. So let's go one more question. I've got a lot. Sorry. When my thumb goes in front of the screen, I'm sorry. I've got to wave. Got to wave to everybody. Tony says I call that outsourcing you. So final words before we split, my friend. Anything else?
Yeah, I would say to the investor, to the fledgling real estate agent, to the teenager that's still trying to figure it out, or to like the young adult that's still trying to figure it out, just lean into it and just don't be worried about not making it happen, but just be focused on the work.
Yeah.
Set mini goals and just be focused on the work.
Yeah.
Don't be focused on like the end goal. Be focused on showing up every single day
Mm-hmm.
and the rest will come. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Just show up selflessly, and like the universe provides the rest. And other than that, like, I just really appreciate you, man, more than I can describe. Like, I admire you on so many levels, Mark.
Oh, our friendship, I mean, is gonna last a long time. And thank you. I just admire what you're doing, and that fortuitous moment where we met, and that was the highlight of my weekend. It really was, when we were doing the Tom Ferry thing. I was there the whole time, and that was just the coolest thing. It was meant to be. I don't believe in a lot of things, but that, I believe, was, and very cool. Real quick, if you're not following Krys, I'm going to put him in the show notes so that you can. I suggest you do it. Guys, if you're investors and you want to get a perspective from a real estate agent and you're trying to get on the MLS, use Krys as a resource. And if you're in LA, hit him up. If you're not in LA, I'm sure he'd be glad to answer your questions. But
Absolutely.
That's why we're here, guys. We're here to be used as a resource at this point in your career. And what do we get out of that? Well, who knows? Maybe Krys will get a listing. Maybe Krys will be able to help you find a property. Maybe you guys will be able to go in on a deal together. Who knows what comes from relationships? But don't try to figure out what it's going to be up front. Just start the relationship and move forward. That's it. If you are looking to get started in real estate investing, of course, I do have a program online. Click in my bio, and it's in there. If you are not following me on YouTube, I would appreciate that. The more people I can get on there, the more time Allie wants to spend on there, and she spends a lot of time on there anyway, editing these videos. If you've not been to Krys's site and seen his extremely well done videos, they are amazing. The time and effort he puts into the production on these is crazy. I know I did one with him, and we filmed for 4 hours, and we got a 7-minute video out of it. And it was amazing. The working together was so much fun. We laughed. We didn't cry, but we certainly laughed. But thank you, everybody. Krys, is there anything else you want to say?
I really appreciate you guys, for everyone that's watching.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, me too. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next time on Wednesday. All right? Talk to you later, guys. Thanks, Krys. Love you, buddy.
Thanks, Mark. Love you too, brother.
See you, man. Bye. Allie. We're still live here, but
Are we still live on this side?
I gotta figure out. Oh, finish. Okay. Sorry. I'm saying goodbye now. See you, man.
See you.